Chiro Perez. It's good to have you on the Sunday Sit Down series. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. You know, it's my pleasure to having you here in my gym. You know what I mean? You guys are always welcome. Like I say, you know, it's my pleasure to be spending this time with you.
Definitely, and we are at the Pain Boxing Training Facility, as everyone can see. Beautiful facility. Chiro recently opened last year. Is that correct?
Yeah, about 8 months. You know,
Okay.
8 months ago we decided to open up Pain Training Facility.
That's awesome. And you've been in boxing how long?
Wow, very long time. I mean, 30 years.
Wow.
You know.
So, Chiro, I look forward to sharing your story today, inside and outside of the boxing ring. Let's get started. As far as where you were born, and talk to me about your childhood.
Yeah, I'm from Ponce, Puerto Rico. You know, born, raised there. You know, I live in New Jersey briefly too. Actually, I did a lot of fights in New Jersey.
Okay.
Also, you know, amateur fights. You know, in Puerto Rico, you know, I was you know, street kid. I would like to fight. So my dad, you know, kind of tired of me fighting in school. So he put me to train, and I train under Jose Panchaneiro.
Okay.
in the gym in the Jose Chewy Torres gym. You know what I mean? A former light heavyweight
Right.
champion, Hall of Famer. That's what we train, you know, and you know, ever since, you know, I fell in love with the sport, and when I couldn't move on with my career like I wanted to, but then, you know, I decided to later on to start training guys and share some of my knowledge that I learned from one of the best.
That's awesome. As far as you're getting that experience in Puerto Rico, talk to me about boxing in Puerto Rico and, you know, growing up. How was that for you?
Well, you know, but back then, you know, time has changed a little now, but back then there were more boxing gyms than stores back then. You know what I mean? Everybody, what they want to do is be a boxer, you know what I mean? It was the cool thing, you know, you
Right.
was to school and you the boxer, you cool, you know what I mean? And now time have changed a little bit. So growing up, you know, it was great. You know what I mean? We all love it. We had a group of me and my friend that we two rides to make it to the gym, and sometimes even jog to the gym, which wasn't that close.
Yeah.
To get to the gym, and we all have fun, you know what I mean? And we train alongside, you know, work class fighters and spar with them, and it was fun. It was fun.
And it's how you say that, and you were literally in the gym with other world champions, and throughout Puerto Rico, you will get that. What does boxing mean to the island?
Well, you know, I mean, boxing means everything in Puerto Rico. You know, what I mean, we always have to take a great pride in boxing. You know, what I mean, as you know, there's not a 35 miles by 100 mile place in the world that create more champions than Puerto Rico. Now, you can say other countries have created more champions than Puerto Rico, but you find me a 35 by 100 mile place. They have that many champions. It's incredible. Right. So we actually had, you know, Puerto Rican take a great pride in boxing. You know what I mean? And we had show, you know, around the world, you know, what Puerto Rican can do.
It's definitely the lifeblood of the island. Obviously, rhetorical question being asked. That being said, with less than 3.5 million people on paper on the island, to produce that amount of world champions is astonishing. You can go to other countries like Mexico and larger countries that obviously are very competitive in boxing, but with the amount of people and the number of champions is truly astonishing.
Oh, no, definitely, you know, no disrespect to nobody. Like I will tell you right now, Mexico City alone has 100 million people. Not Mexico, Mexico City. Only one city has 100 million people. We have 3.5 million people.
Right, in Puerto Rico.
In Puerto Rico, so
that's crazy.
Once again, for us to be able to compete against all those power horses, you know, like United States, Mexico, all those places, he say a lot about us.
Definitely, and as we're talking about other countries, and we spoke about off camera, talk to me about Dominican Republic, because it's a boxing hotbed that unfortunately a lot of people haven't seen the talents come out.
Yes, you know, I mean, I always have a firm belief on on the talent from the Dominican Republic. I've been going to Dominican Republic for many years. You know, we bring fighters to fight there, and I have a great connection there, and I always seen the talent there. And I used to ask myself, now, of course, with time to see it, but back then, I tried to ask myself, why didn't I make a bigger statement? You know what I mean, in the professional world. But one of the reasons is not everybody get opportunity to come out of the island. You know what I mean, for
Right.
better training, better nutrition, better way of living, more training camp. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like you know, Puerto Rican do, American, Mexican, you know, do. So I always believe now the more fighters from Dominican Republic are able to get the opportunity to come out. Now the boxing world starting to see a brief of talent from the Dominican Republic, something that I always knew, that I always believe on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yes, once again, not everybody get a chance to come out. I've seen fighters there. They actually now they're even retired now, that I say, wow, if I would have had that kid, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
in United States, definitely would be a world champion, you know what I mean? And you see that over and over through the island of Dominican Republic.
And as you can see, the flags, obviously, there's a Boricua, you're a Boricua. We have the DR flag as well, home of the Payne boxing training facility is home to world champion Jason Rosario. And, you know, it goes to show the testament and the commitment you've had to boxing in DR. And a product of the environment is Rosario. And it's truly special what he did and what he continues to do and put Dominican boxing on the map.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Rosario is the only unified world champion DR ever has.
Wow.
In history. No other fighter, and they've been great fighters, but none of them have been unified world champion. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We always want, like I said, we always believe in the talent, and we know the more Dominicans can do that. You know what I mean? You know, we did it with J-Rock. You know what I mean? We had a setback with Charlo. You know what I mean? But nothing but, you know, Charlo. You know, he's you know, Rosario just turned 25. You know, there's a lot.
Wow. I didn't know he was 25.
Yeah, he just turned 25. Oof. So, you know, so he got a lot left, and he's going to prove again. You know what I mean? He actually started, he's learning now. He's learning, and he's already was a unified world champion. Trust me when I'm telling you, he's just learning now to be a complete fighter, you know what I mean? And he already accomplished something, you know. And like I say, I would believe in the talent in Dominican Republic. You know what I mean? And now we're starting to see, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And, you know, somebody that coming to the United States soon is also Alberto Puello. You know, he's the WBA interim 140-pound champion. You know, he finally got his visa to be able to travel to the United States, so he'll be here with us too. And who actually right now is the only current world champion at the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
You guys, you know, will see a lot of him now that he will be in United States with us in, you know, in Payne train boxing camp.
That's awesome. Wow. So Alberto Pollo, you said, correct?
Yeah,
140 pounds.
La Avispa Puello, the WBA interim world champion.
Yeah.
Once again, finally got his break and his opportunity to come out to the United States and showcase his talent. And we're going to, just like we did with Rosario and J-Rock, we're going to prove a lot of people wrong.
I like it. We look forward to that, definitely. So, Chiro, as we're sitting in your new gym, I'm truly blessed to be here, and I see all the flags. Tell me about what these flags mean.
Well, you know, this flag is not just flags to look good and to decorate the gym. You know, they do look good, and they decorate the gym. I had trained a professional fighter from each of these countries, and I kind of like give myself and then a little honor. You know what I mean? You know,
definitely.
I trained somebody from that country. We did great. We didn't do great, whatever it was, but still, you know what I mean? I got to take my hat off for anybody that step in the ring. So, you know what I mean? I step my hat off for my world champion. I step my hat off for the guys that didn't want to fight. You know what I mean? Still, just to get in the ring, you know what I mean? It take a lot of courage, and you have to be born with it, not everybody, have the.
No, definitely.
with that.
And it reminds me, and we'll talk more about your experiences, but that switch. Some fighters have that switch they can turn on and off. And when I call it the Golovkin Switch. You meet the guy in the street, you shake his hand, super nice guy, but when he gets in that ring, he's a dog.
Correct.
And not everybody has that inside them.
No. Not everybody do, and not everybody was born to fight. You have to understand that you're getting inside a little square. Knowing that somebody trying to know your head out of your body. It's willingly you want to go in there and give this guy who training like a beast to give him the opportunity to try to break every bone that he can in your body.
Right.
So you have to be a special breed for that.
Definitely. That's definitely the switch you have to turn on and off. Some guys can do it, some can't. Speaking about the flags, what was your best experience? In what country and not fighting, maybe both fighting and maybe outside of the ring as far as your experiences in other countries?
Yeah, well, I have great experience, all over the place. Of course, the gratitude of when Rosario won with Chiro was awesome. Just because we was 30-1 underdog. Nobody gave us a shot whatsoever. That's why we got the shot, because nobody gave us the shot. You know what I mean? So that was one of the great moments for me, because it was 32-1 underdog. Roll. So I was able to convert a 32-1 underdog into a monster that night, and not only win, but win in impressive fashion. You
didn't just skid by.
Yeah. Also, I've been the experience in Russia. I've been there 17 times in Russia for fight. One of my big experience there was when we went to fight Guillermo Jones against Dennis Levelet for the WBA Cruiserweight World Champion. It was the experience was great. The atmosphere was great. Also, it was one of the most brutal fights I ever witnessed. If you guys never seen this fight,
yeah, to check it out. I haven't.
You guys
seen that.
check it out. Guillermo Jones.
It's cruiserweights.
Cruiserweight World Championship. Guillermo Jones versus Dennis Levelet. When you see this fight, you're gonna think that it was a scene of a movie.
Wow.
So one of it was a great fight. We was able to win the title by 11-round TKO, but the Russians were not happy. We had to literally get out of there escorted, and we was in the huge van, and they were trying to flip the van over and all that stuff. So that was a great experience. Also, one of my great experience in terms of fans was when I went to the U2 Arena in London.
Oh yeah.
Those fans there are amazing. When we Pali Malignaggi,
O2 Arena.
Yeah, in the O2 Arena, my excuse.
No,
When they with Pali Malignaggi, everybody loves Pali over there,
Yeah.
And the energy of the fan is something incredible. Something that, all you guys knew when Ricky Hatton used to fight, even if it was in Vegas, the energy of the place, they come and support their fighters.
Yep.
They're big time fighting
passionate,
people.
Very passionate.
Passionate about the sport, and I was able to live it and experience a couple times there.
And it's funny you say that. To be able to emulate that again, it may never happen. As far as you having that experience, it could. As a coach, obviously you will have it, but I'm saying from a fan perspective. And it's funny that certain fighters, they have like a 3 to 5 year window, and you might get 1 or 2 of those major fights. And you've had many of those experiences, which is awesome. As a fan, all I can really say is when Miguel Cotto fought at Madison Square Garden, and being in those 3 or 4 fights or 5 fights, and then it goes away, and it's like you go back to the same place or you go to another fight.
And
it's different.
And it's not that same.
I don't like it.
It's very few fight where you experience that passion, that love, the environment,
the energy,
and
it's on a different level.
It's definitely in a different level. And now, we had to be clear, with this pandemic going on, we might never experience something like that again.
Unfortunately.
Hopefully, once again, in God's hand, things get better and we be able to experience that again. But as you know, many fights right now are with no public.
Yeah. Takes away a lot of the energy.
It
I think it
takes
affects the fighters big time.
Yeah,
they say it doesn't, but a guy like Hatton or a guy like even McGregor with no fans.
Correct.
gotta wonder.
They live off their fans. You know what I mean? They find the energy of them. They feed of that energy. So without there, you know what I mean? It's definitely not the same.
Mm-hmm. Not at all. And as we continue with Chiro Perez on the Sunday sit-down series, we're going to circle back a little bit, Chiro. We've kind of gone around the world a little bit, talked about your experiences in the boxing world. Let's take it back to Puerto Rico. As far as the transition from Puerto Rico to the mainland here, talk to me about how that came about for yourself.
Yeah, well, I was in Puerto Rico. I mean, I did my amateur fights in Puerto Rico. Then we went to New Jersey, where I was able to do a lot of fights actually in New Jersey.
In the amateurs.
In the amateurs, yes.
Okay.
Yes, in the amateurs in New Jersey, and then for a brief time, I decided to stay a little bit away from boxing. One of the reasons was, at the age of 20, I already have 4 kids.
Wow.
So back then, there were no money really, like I needed, to support, 4 kids. So I decided to move, this way to, work and just. I love boxing, but the kids need to eat,
Yeah, definitely.
So then, stay out for a little bit into. Actually, the kid got a little big enough. I was in a position where I was able to go back to boxing. I actually tried to fight again when I was about 26 years old, 27 years old. I said, you know what? Now I can do it. Let me try again. I had a lot of experience. I was. I'm never gonna talk about myself, but my coaches say, I was very talented. You know what I mean? So. But I could have never made the weight no more. You know what I mean?
What were you fighting at that time? What was your weight class?
135.
Oh.
So
I think me and you are above 135 these days.
Oh yeah, way up there. So
Okay.
so I did try it again. You know what I mean? And when I got down to 148 pounds, I couldn't walk. So if I'm gonna find my right weight classes, then where I belong, I better give it up and start, helping, training. You know what I mean? And that's, I stay out for a little bit and then went back to the training, and once again, that's what I love now.
Yeah, definitely boxing. So boxing never left.
No, definitely boxing never left ever since I was 8 years old when I threw my first punch in Puerto Rico.
That's awesome. Talk to me about your family, Chiro. You said you have 4 children at the age of 20. You now have 6 children.
Correct.
You have your gym. And talk to me about the transition with the family from Jersey to Florida, as well as talk to me about your family.
Yeah. Well, we went, from Puerto Rico to Jersey and went back to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we came over here. Unfortunately, me and my kid's mom, separate. She stayed in Puerto Rico. With the kid, I moved over here. Then I had 2 more kids over here. They're both professional fighters. They're not fighting now, but one of my son. Anthony was a chief sparring partner for Miguel Cotto for the second Margarito fight and the Mayorga fight. He was a sparring partner with Cotto because at that time Emmanuel Steward was training Cotto, and I used to work with Steward. So they did camp with us down here. Yeah, he actually ended up 11-0. 11-0 with 11 KO fight. But decided not to move forward with it, went to other avenues, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my oldest son, actually, he's finished with 17-2. 17 win, 2 losses, 14 KOs. Also move on, to have families and kids.
Yeah.
And now he actually owns, a boxing gym, a karate instructor,
Really?
Stuff like that.
And this is New Jersey or here?
Here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here. So even though he's not fighting no more, but he's staying in the same bloodline of.
That's awesome.
Of boxing.
So what are their names? The 2 sons, 2 of your 6 children
Yes,
that fought.
Travis and Anthony.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that about
Yeah.
the sparring, the #1 sparring partner for Cotto.
Oh
and
yeah.
Margarito, too.
For those 2 fights, they need Steward was looking for somebody that threw a lot of punches. I was strong like La Mayorga.
Yeah.
And my son was able to provide that for them.
That's amazing. Talk to me about your relationship with Emmanuel Steward. He's a legend in boxing. I mean,
yeah.
You know,
I mean, we became friends, and then you know, of course, we in the boxing world, so we kind of know each other.
Right.
But we actually became more friends through Miguel Cotto's Miguel Cotto lawyer, Gary Panamericano, recommend for them to do camp here. You know, I mean, I was friend with him, so that's how everything happened. They decided to do camp here. You know, I find the house for them and him and stuff like that. And then we became friends, and you know, I worked alongside him, or saw him work really. You know, for a little bit, and I learned a lot from him. I learned his demeanor, his relaxation. You know, to be able to see stuff that when you are not relaxed, you cannot see. You know what I mean?
Right, and I remember watching him, even just being an analyst on HBO, and how he talked about the fight and how he broke it down. It's almost like John Madden. It reminded me of those people that follow football.
Correct.
John Madden, like, breakdown in the fight.
Yeah, he
analyzed it.
He used to explain to me because I wanted to learn, of course, from the best.
Right.
So I used to stay next to him, and he training and doing stuff. He used to explain to me why he doing this at that moment or why he's not doing that at that moment. You know what I mean? One of the things that he used to tell me is the more relaxed that you are, the more you can see, the better instruction you can give you fighter. You know what I mean?
And that relationship too. Having that relationship with the fighter is so important.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, just on top of being able to get in this guy's face when someone's punching him in the face, and having that conversation in the corner. I mean, and you can give that perspective. I've seen you a number of times in the corner, and how you interact with your fighter and the relationship you build upon those times when you're in crunch time.
Correct. Yeah. You know, they all, you know, all my fighters, you know, they all live with us. You know what I mean? Here in camp, so we actually end up being like, I mean, they're like my kids, you know what I mean? And they end up loving me like that, you know what I mean? And one of the things that you can say you have seen me in the corner is one of the mistakes that I feel a lot of trainers make is they give the fighter too much instruction. And then at the end of the day, he's trying to breathe, he's trying to get a win. And then you tell him 5,000 stuff, he's not going to register either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like right now, if I told you 20 stuff and I ask you 2 seconds later what the 20 stuff, you know, you might tell me 1 or 2 or 3, you know. So, you know, I like to give I like to stay calm and relaxed, see what's the problem or what's going well, you know, and just focus on that thing that I feel is going to change the course of the fight. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, oh, make it go right, good, you know, don't stay on the road, but to the right. You know what I mean? Too many instructions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how I'm able to do that is by staying relaxed and calm. I'll be able to see more, you know what I mean? And I'll be able to give him the right instruction so he can execute, you know, the
throughout
game
the
plan.
fight. Yeah, and it's interesting you say that, and we could talk about it all day essentially, but the multiple game plans. And you see that with certain fighters, but then again, let's make it 1 or 2 things in that corner in that crunch time to move forward and have success and be able to execute.
Correct. You know, I mean, you need to, you and your fighter need to have a complete understanding understanding what need to be done. You know what I mean, to be able to be successful on the fight. Now, sometimes it doesn't work.
Right.
And sometimes it does, you know what I mean? Also, you need to have a plan B, C, and D because you never know. You know what I mean? You never know. You know, maybe what you thought working is not working. You know what I mean? Like, when I study, I'm a big study of fighters, especially the one who we're going to fight. Right. And one of the things that I see, that I like to see when I'm studying a fighter, is not actually the mistake they make. A lot of trainers do that. Oh, look, he's making that mistake, let me capitalize by that mistake. But that's a completely mistake. Because why? Because a trainer can fix that mistake, then he can make a mistake in this fight and don't make the same mistake in the other fight. What I like to see is habit. what a fighter do every single fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something that, habits are hard to break. You know what I mean? Mistake can be fixed. You know what I mean? You can get a fighter that making a lot of mistakes, and you a good trainer, and you be able to see those mistakes, and you fix them. So a guy can make a mistake tonight, and on the next fight, that mistake is fixed. So you're going with a game plan according to that mistake, but he's not making that mistake anymore. Now what you do? You know what I mean? So what I look on fighters that I study is habits. What they do every single fight, because habits hard to break the mistakes.
Very good perspective from Luis Chiro Perez. You have to have a quote on the wall here, what you just talked about.
Yeah.
Adjustments, mistakes, and
Correct.
just, correcting those and going on. It's, I see a ton of quotes here today. It's really cool to see that in your gym. Motivation, inspiration, and truly a beautiful facility. Talk to me more about the pain training facility here in Pompano Beach.
Well, I mean, we came with this concept to be a little different, especially if anybody saw the first special leading to Julian Williams fight. They show a lot about our camp house. You know what I mean? We strict, but it's for their best. You know what I mean? If they're gonna have the same freedom that they have in their countries or in their house, then there's no reason to do camp and spend the money and stuff like that.
Right.
So in my camp, I have my conditioning coach and nutritionist, Ramon Hayes, who make all the meals, for the fighters. You give them money and they start eating starch and stuff. They're not good. No, we don't do that. My conditioning coach, who's also our nutritionist, make all their food. You know what I mean? They don't need to worry about the food. You know what I mean? I don't allow nobody to leave the camp house. They're 24/7. You know what I mean? They get a break on Sunday. If they want to go somewhere, they better do that day. Other than that, we resting, coming to the gym, we train, get back, they eat, and resting some more. I don't allow nobody to have a car there. You know what I mean? So the only
Focus.
The only
So
car
all the
there,
fighters out there,
Correct.
listen to what Chiro is saying, because a lot of you guys, I see you on Instagram hanging out, doing this, that, and the third. Well, guess what? You want to be a pro fighter?
Correct.
Come to the Pain Boxing Training Facility. I'll give you a little taste of medicine.
But you see, one of the different on camp and be away, from their family, stuff like that, is I'm a fighter and I have 2 kids. Well, the kid fell this morning. We got to take him to the hospital with mistrained that day. You know what I mean? The kid the wife need to go to the store. We need to go to the store. When they're away from them, they need to have everything set up. If something happened, call 911. You can call me. I'm all the way in Pompano Beach, Florida. And once again, it get them to rest more. You know what I mean? It get them to appreciate actually even family. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
They're away from their family. In training camp. You know what I mean? I asked Rosario for one of the fights. You know what I mean? Why he didn't bring his kids to his fight? He said when he's around his kid, he's a big family man. He loves his kid. He said he get mellow around his kid. He get
Get soft.
He gets soft. So and he didn't want to go like that to a fight.
Right.
So he helped not only with the resting, because in my opinion, this is the key to be successful. Okay, of course, not everybody got the talent, even
Right.
doing this, but you can get the talent. There's no special ingredient to be successful. You know what I mean? To me, my opinion, to be successful, if you have the talent, is great nutrition, eat right, great rest. You need to rest to let your body recuperate for what's coming next. You know what I mean? And great training, great sparring. Those 3 things to me are a key factor. You know what I mean? And when you're around in your country, in your town, in your house, or with your family, you know what I mean?
A lot of distractions.
Without distraction, one of those 3 might get out the window. You know what I mean? If you have kids, you know what I mean? You need to rest well while the kid's crying. you know,
You don't sleep.
you don't sleep.
That's
You
out the
know, I
window.
mean, you know, so you had to cook food, or your wife had to cook food, but she's busy with the kid. Can I cook food? You know, I mean, when you come camp, you don't need to worry about that. You know, I mean, my guys rest. I wake them up. You know, my conditioning coach wake them up when they're ready to come to the gym. We come to the gym, we train, we go back. Food is ready. They eat, they rest, take a shower, and rest.
Wow. Focused energy.
Into the next session. So that's one of the keys for our success here.
I really like that, man. And it sends the message too. If you're really about this and this is what you want to do as a career, this is your occupation. You want to be a professional boxer. This is what it takes. It's not rocket science. And like you said, I've seen fighters over the years that may not have the talent, but they do all the little things that are really aren't little things. They might not have the talent, but they definitely, the eating, the diet, you know, the sleep, the less distractions.
Correct.
All that stuff is so important to have any success in the ring. And, you know, it's in the gym where the work is done. And it's great that, you know, that still happens. And I think there's a lot of fighters out there that don't understand that. You have to isolate self-isolation.
Oh, definitely.
So the pandemic's probably
yeah, I mean,
helped.
Well, you know, the pandemic.
Some people, maybe not.
Well, the pandemic for us, they made no different because that's what we do
all the time.
All the time. You know what I mean?
I'm saying other fighters, right?
Correct.
The pandemic has helped maybe get this self-isolation.
Even before the pandemic, all we do is train and go back to our to our camp house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and like you was mentioned also, there have been plenty of fighters that are not talented. They have made a lot of money and they have become world champions. And I have seen fighters, you know what I mean? And I had, don't need to mention the name, but I had one of the most talented guy I've seen ever in my whole career inside the ring. I never met him nowhere because they have those three ingredients, you know?
Yeah.
They are the key ingredient for the boxing world to taste good. So once again, you know, I seen it a lot and I recommend it. I understand not everybody have the funds to do it, right. You know what I mean? But you know, try your best to rest. Try your best to eat right. Train every day. You know what I mean? There's no shortcut in boxing. You know what I mean?
Definitely a great message, and it's very, I would say, interesting, so to say, with your experiences throughout the world. Your perspective, the fighter's house, you've got your own gym now, you built it all the way up to this, and the message is just focused energy, continue to work hard, and you will get there. So everybody out there that's going through these hard times, have an understanding if it's the little things, whether it's the diet, the eating, the focused energy, take it and run with it. And Chiro, my friend, is truly you know, a testament to that. So I do appreciate you sharing your story today, Chiro, on the Sunday Sit Down series. And where can we find you on social media as well as the boxing facility? Well,
you know, we in 2630, 16 Lane, Pompano Beach, Florida. You know what I mean? My phone number 754-363-5910. Anybody want to call me, they're more than welcome. I'm normally busy, you know what I mean? On Instagram, I'm in Chiro's Boxing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
My name.
Yep.
Chiro Boxing. You guys more than welcome to, you know,
DM
to follow me there. Yeah, to follow me there. You know what I mean? And everybody know, like I say, where I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once again, it's my pleasure, you know, to spend this Sunday with, you know, with my good people. We actually was in a fight together last night.
Yeah, I saw you recently. But yeah, it's a pleasure, Chiro. Thank you so much for sharing your story on the Sunday Sit Down series. And I look forward to seeing more future champions out of the Payne Boxing Training Facility in Pompano Beach. It's a representation of your hard work, their hard work, and putting Florida on the map, obviously, and all different types of fighters from various countries and representing Puerto Rico, DR, and I'm excited about it. So thank you again.
All right, thank you very, very much. It's my pleasure once again, and happy to be here with you guys.